Hey guys, this is Kaim Interviews. We are here with Fit for a King.
Live for yourself, to lose it all. The reward is worth nothing, it all will fall.
So how's this tour been going so far? I know it's a little bit shy in, but how have the crowd reactions been? And you know, you guys have a new album coming out, so how many songs from your new album are you guys playing here live?
The shows have been awesome so far, especially considering a lot of the shows have been cities we haven't seen in 2 to 4 years. So it's really cool to see people even into our last record, since we haven't came through since that even came out. On this tour we're playing 2 new songs, the 2 new singles we've posted.
Okay, awesome. And so how do you think fan reactions have been to that online and stuff? Like, seems like it's been pretty positive so far.
Yeah, things have been great online. People seem to be into it. I mean, there's always going to be people that prefer the older stuff. And, I mean, I enjoy playing our old stuff as much as the new stuff. The way I see it, we're not trying to, like, replace our old music. We're just trying to complement and progress with every album.
So were you a little bit nervous somewhat, like coming out with a new album with a member change? Because that's always something that's, you know, hard to take from fans. Because, yeah, like you said, there's always going to be those kids that just have something negative to say.
Yeah, it's always nerve-wracking changing members, especially something as big as the singer in the band. But we were really confident. The new guy we got, Ryan is his name. We call him Tuck. To avoid confusion.
Ryan.
But we were really confident. He's a great singer, and he brought a lot to the table as far as his lyrics and his life experiences.
So was he intentionally picked for his vocal capabilities and lyrical ability, or was that just kind of something that, okay, that's a doubleheader, good, you know?
Yeah. We first found out about him through a guy named Chris, who TMs for the band Sworn In. And because he lives in New York, and Ryan had been in bands with him and stuff, and he told Ryan that we lost our bass player, and he's like, yeah, you should try out. So he had us send him an instrumental track off a song from the new record, and we just loved how his voice sounded, and the lyrics were awesome, and he like gave us the meaning behind them and all that, and that's what we really wanted, was somebody who knew what he believed in and was very great at putting it into words through music.
And I hear one of the newer songs is from a perspective of someone that doesn't fully believe in God, kind of struggling with it. So, yeah, could you talk about that a little bit? Like, what is his stance, I guess, like, in comparison to you guys?
I mean, he's a Christian, for sure. It's talking about a period in his life, and a period in a lot of people's lives. It's not necessarily meant to just relate to him, but I've heard this question so many times from fans who are struggling with it. Is when somebody passes away who is a great person, wasn't a Christian, they message me and say, so you're going to sit here and tell me that he's going to go to hell and all this stuff? And I could see why that's such a big struggle. So we wrote the song Young and Undeserving, which is about talking from somebody's point of view that's like questioning God and questioning like, how could you send someone to hell that was such a good person just because he wasn't a Christian? And we want to bring in aspects to our music that aren't just praise and worship or anything. We want it to relate to how maybe an atheist sees Christianity, or people who are on the fence or something.
Awesome. All right, and so a lot of people were talking on the lyrics, on the comments about a song coming out that is super heavy with no clean vocals at all. What's the name of that song, and when can fans expect to hear that?
It is actually the title track, Slave to Nothing, and it'll be coming out as a music video about a week before the album release, so around the 8th range.
All right. And what made you guys decide to go with a song with no clean vocals?
We have a lot of fans that are really into the music for the heavy aspect, and we kind of wrote this song as we're not going to just be a soft band and go the light route. This song has stuff that we've never put in our music before, like blast beats. And all that. It gets pretty metal. There's like little solo-y parts and all that, so we kind of wanted to show that we're not just adding a bunch of singing, that we're still just as heavy as we've always been.
Okay. All right, and so a lot of you guys know how to, you know, sing other than, you know, just yourself and you know, Ryan as well. So how many people are recorded other than Ryan, bass player, on the album singing?
Actually, it's just me and him singing. I do about 20% of the singing. He does the other 80%. This album, I really tried exploring my singing vocals and stuff. Like on Young and Undeserving, I do a little bit of the singing, but it's predominantly Ryan, for sure, on all the choruses and all that.
And so what's something you guys intentionally did differently going into the studio or preparing for the studio that you've never done before?
Well, this album, we actually had a producer to work with. Our last records, it was more we just had an engineer. He didn't really offer a ton of input or ideas, whereas Will Putney would say, give me your lyrics, I'm going to read these, and he would say, this part's a little boring, spice it up with some adjectives or something like that, and it was just very hands-on. Everything was definitely more dissected and broken down and critiqued than our last record, so everything came out a lot more smooth and polished.
Okay. So would you say this album overall is either heavier or softer from like previous releases?
I wouldn't say it's really as much either. It's just different. It's a lot more riffy than the last one. We tried to break away from just doing chugs and chords every single song and getting into more of having like actual riffs in the songs and adding a little more technicality to the instruments.
Gotcha. All right, and so like, when might fans hear another track off the album? Will it be when the album drops, or will there be another single?
There's just going to be 3 singles, and then I believe on sometime before the album or on the day of, we'll be doing a full album stream to help promote purchasing the new record first week.
Right. So what does the title Slave to Nothing mean to you guys, and how does it kind of fit in with the overall theme of the album?
It's just about not being a slave to things of this world. Like, I'd say the most common is money. A lot of people are slaves to money. They don't work because they feel like that's where they should be in life. They work because they don't want to be poor. And a lot of people are slaves to drugs. People are slaves to pornography, alcohol. Just like there's so many things people put as priorities that shouldn't be priorities in their life. And a lot of the songs touch different subjects. Like, one talks about being a slave to happiness because some people will screw over other people in order for them to be happy and not really concern themselves with, well, I don't really care if this guy gets his life messed up as long as mine's better. And I see that attitude a lot through the news and how people carry themselves.
All right, so lastly, what's your favorite song off this record overall, and where can people find Fit for a King after this specific tour?
I would say my favorite song is called Cleanse My Soul on the record. And after this tour, we're going out with a Myrrh and Acacia strain in November and December. Then we'll have another tour announced shortly after that that's super big, and it'll be awesome.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
That concludes the interview, and this is Keim Interviews. Take it easy.